This morning, NTSB investigators getting their first look at a critical clue. The cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder recovered from the American Airlines passenger jet involved in that horrific midair collision near D.C.'s Reagan National Airport. These images showing the devices being cleaned and evaluated at the NTSB labs. As new video aired by CNN shows the horrifying moments the two crashed and plunged into the icy Potomac.
I mean, how tough was it out there?
There's wreckage that can puncture your suit. There's jet fuel in the water that's contaminating your gear. So we're having to work with all of that to keep our divers safe while we're looking for people.
Audio seems to show the helicopter pilot responding to controllers, though it's hard to hear. As authorities try to piece together what happened. Sources tell NBC News investigators are looking at whether the helicopter was flying above its designated altitude, while a preliminary FAA report on the crash found staffing at the air traffic control tower was not normal, according to a source with knowledge of the situation. The tower typically has one controller focusing on planes and a second on helicopters. But Wednesday night, only one person was overseeing both at the time of the collision, although that is allowed by FAA safety guidelines. And this morning, we're learning of another close encounter near the airport just a day earlier. Audio showing a plane had to change course due to a helicopter in its path.
American 4514, what was the reason for the go-around?
We had an RA with the helicopter traffic below us, American 4514.
Officials say the helicopter involved in Wednesday night's crash was on a routine training flight with 3 experienced crew members, including crew chief Ryan O'Hara, a young father. Also on board, an instructor pilot with about 1,000 flight hours. Among those killed on the American flight, multiple children, their parents, and coaches returning from a figure skating camp in Kansas.
There's just no words to describe how awful it is.
The plane's captain, identified as 34-year-old Jonathan Campos. His co-pilot, Sam Lilly, 28 years old, and engaged to be married.
He was just a very kind soul.
Also on the flight, young mother Wendy Jo Schaefer and civil rights attorney and former Miss Kansas contestant Key Duggins. Hamad Raza was at the airport to pick up his wife Azra, who was returning from a business trip.
I always pick her up from departures. I had dinner waiting at home.
So many families grieving while the investigation continues. Now, the NTSB was set to meet with the victims' family members yesterday. I spoke with the D.C. fire chief who was on his way to that meeting, and I asked him what he was going to tell them. He told me the truth. He was going to answer as many questions as they could, but the big question, why, the question everyone wants to know, it's going to take some time to answer, Savannah.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.